Today's transmission has to do with twin flames, sacred flames as I prefer calling them, and the soul and the spirit. You know, in twin flames there is the representation of the masculine energy and the feminine energy. Similarly to that, we have the soul or psyche and the spirit. The spirit represents the masculine energy and the soul represents the feminine energy. Now, what does that have to do with twin flames? Let's go on a deeper level of exploration and let me channel a couple of things that are coming through. The soul and the spirit, the feminine and masculine energies, are coming through the veil of remembrance. The one who forgets everything is the spirit we have, the spirit we are. And the soul knows a lot, remembers a lot. She still has to heal some stuff and receive fragmentations that have been cut off from other lifetimes. So, coming through the veil of remembrance, through the incarnation, what we do with spiritual awakenings is that wake-up call that takes place and the spirit expands, the awareness of the spirit expands in order to listen to the soul, the psyche, what she wants to experience, what she's here to experience, and the spirit is the provider of that experience. So take it from the perspective of one person that is a soul and a spirit. The soul and the spirit are coming into union. That union of the sacred flames comes into a representative form within self of the union of spirit and soul. What we are looking for to create for ourselves is that union of soul and spirit within one space. The union of twin flames or sacred flames comes as a byproduct, as a result of the union that takes place within self. Now, we're going through a lot of shadow work through the dark night of the soul. We are experiencing the dark night of the soul, feminine energy, and the darkness connected with shadow work. We are experiencing all of that, so the spirit can expand and find that common space, the union with the soul. You can't have the one without the other. You can have a human experience only with your soul, not with your spirit. That's not happening. You can understand that as an image. So what is going on is the soul is guiding the spirit to the awakening, to the wake-up calls, to all the experiences that are helpful and pay a specific growth that the soul needs to experience. And through that darkness and through that purification, through that cleansing we are going through, what is created is the union of the spirit and the soul, where we surrender the spirit, our spirits, to the soul's knowledge, to the soul's wisdom, to everything that is taking place each and every day, so we can expand and come into union within self. And this is the path of enlightenment, which is connected with resistance. What is difficult, what makes it difficult for us to awaken to who we truly are in essence, is the resistance from the shadow victim archetype, where we learn how to listen, to actively listen to ourselves, to our souls, and to the higher self, the great spirit where we come from. And this is the whole point of that. How to bring and create that union within self, spirit and soul, and how to actively be present in the best way possible for us. How we do that? This is the question now. How do we bring the spirit and the soul into union within self? On a day-to-day basis, you may be getting a calling of a deeper learning of who you are through situations with friends, with family, with people around you, that they will push you through your boundaries, they will push you through your limitations. And this is about breaking free from the conditioning you have been accustomed to having in your everyday life, of how you extend yourself, how you embrace yourself, how you understand yourself. All these experiences are helpful in one direction, of the awakening of the spirit and the union of spirit and soul. Your soul is also guiding you to your next steps of how to unbecome who you were by becoming who you truly are in essence. That is a path that never ends, never comes into completion, at least for as long as we are alive on this planet. And I guess it continues further on, but it's not the point at this moment. So, if you set intentions of how to allow yourself, your spirit and your soul to come into union, to surrender to each moment as it comes, as it goes, to reflect on your previous actions, on your previous desires, on your previous intentions, and what you truly had as an expression of that in the physical manifestation, you start getting into alignment with your spirit and your soul. When you see some inconsistencies of what my intention was and what actually happened in reality, and you check with yourself why this and why that, and what did that served for me, what it helped me understand and see for myself about myself, you are getting into the space of self-reflection. You are getting into a space of understanding where there is a disconnection of your spirit and your soul. When things don't happen, it is some sort of inconsistency that takes place. This is where you are going deeper to examine from the unconscious, from the subconscious, what is coming through, if it is some kind of recreational trauma that takes place from your childhood or even adulthood. It doesn't even matter where it comes from. What matters is for you to pinpoint why this is happening, or why this is happening despite the fact that you have set different intentions. When you start to close that gap of what I truly want and what is truly manifested in my life, when this gap becomes as minimal as possible, and you are in a place of embracing who you are in essence, of really being in alignment with all aspects of yours, this is the true enlightenment. We keep learning, we keep expanding, we keep surrendering, we keep changing and shifting in many ways and in many versions of ourselves, which is absolutely needed and normal. Yet, when there is some kind of inconsistency, this is where your focus should be, in a way that, wait a minute, what is going on here? This is my intention, this is what is happening. Why this inconsistency? Why this huge difference in the gap of what I intended and what happened? This is also the base of shadow work. When you start reflecting on these things, this is how you get to understand what your soul wants, what your spirit is manifesting, and why the inconsistency of those two. That is the main key of how to start bringing into union soul and spirit. And this is the key that you want to create and keep in your hands, literally and metaphorically, because this is what manifests the connection and the union in your everyday life, in your real life, with your twin flame. When you start reflecting, where haven't I honored or respected or understood myself in this connection and in any other connection in your life? This is the place of transformation. This is where you transform your spirit, expand your spirit and your soul, and you bring them into union within self. And this is where magic happens. This is where everything shifts in your reality. This is how you get into full alignment of who you are and what you are here to co-create with the universe, the source, and God. The God within you and the God you know exists. In that space, you create an amazing energy, an amazing magnetic field for yourself, and you start attracting what is truly meant to be for you, even beyond your imagination, beyond your intentions, beyond your physical reality. And I've been on and off in some of these moments because I was curious and I was asking, okay, what is enlightenment? How does it feel? What is it to be enlightened? And when I was in that space, I didn't feel enlightened. I didn't feel, wow, this is amazing. But I was in a true union of soul and spirit, of physical manifestation, of true healing for self and others. And everything was just flowing in a different way of being, in connection with earth, with spirit, with literally everything and everyone around me. Truly magical as moments. And I have to say that this is our goal. This is where we come into union within self. This is how we create life. This is how we enjoy life. And it's not everything that needs to be created by us. We are not in that space of constant creation, although we do. We have the capability, we have the ability, we have the potential, if you wish. We have the tools, we have the knowledge and the wisdom for that. But being in the space of co-creating with every force around you is where true magic happens, is where cosmic and celestial forces are united with the earthly forces and the forces within you, that we coexist in the most amazing way. This is what the union of spirit and soul feels like, is like, and will be like. It doesn't mean that you have to come into a space of perfection. That doesn't exist. It doesn't mean that you have to come to a specific space of growth within self. It doesn't mean that you have to reach for the stars before you are ready to invite in the one in your life. Forget all of this conditioning, because what it creates is more conditioning, more limitations, more fragmentation, more contradictions within yourself, more separation of spirit and soul. And this is what we are doing through this path of spiritual awakenings, of expansion, is to create the union within spirit and soul and become one within self, with the earth and the cosmos. And this is how we get to be attracting exactly who we are in the outside of us. And let me clarify this one more moment. We are not exactly the same soul incarnated in two bodies. We have probably exactly the same frequency. Different spirits? Absolutely, yeah, because it is the polarity. And this is why you also see different symbols of yin and yang. It represents the whole. It represents everything. It's not just duality of light and dark. It represents totality and the union within self. You usually see symbols about twin flames which have to do with a circle, a full circle. The sun and the moon, both are circles in a circular shape. The yin and yang symbol, it is one circle. If we want to see things as black and white, as this and that, it won't work. We've passed through the duality. We've gone through the stage of spiritual awakenings that had to do with duality, and to me it even feels very old as a mindset, talking about duality and polarization in that aspect. It feels as we have outgrown that mindset and conditioning of duality. We're in a different space, energetically, spiritually, and we are ever evolving. We have to remember that. And this is where, with this transmission, I'm calling you to be. Either you are on a twin flame journey or not, either you are in search of your special one, your ideal one. Be in the space of embracing the union of your spirit and your soul as one. The soul doesn't know anything of ego. The spirit, we say you're very spirited, right? That says a lot. So what we are combining, what we are pushing through, or better for me, if you want, what we are expanding on, is how the spirit can be in union with the soul beyond the mindset of ego, of pulling and pushing, and how to create that sanctuary within self, that union within self, and embracing each moment as it comes for what it is, and being in the space of co-creation with everything and everyone around us. This is where we are headed. This is what we talk about when we say the golden era, and this is the time for that. Thank you for listening. Please let me know in the comments if this resonated with you, if it hit home, if you felt something being activated in your energy when we talk about soul and spirit. And I say we because it is me and my team in spirit. It's not just me. And please let me know if this resonated in any way and form for you, if it helped you in any way, I'm trying to say. And I want to add with this that there comes a point on this path of twin flames, sacred flames, where you realize that it has nothing to do with the union outside of you. There comes a point where you just give up in a way that you actually surrender to spirit. You trust whatever is best for you can't surpass you, won't surpass you, will actually find its way to you, that you don't have to actively be doing something to create that outside of you. What you want to be doing is to be creating that amazing space of energy within you and around you in accordance of who you are. And what I was about to say, it doesn't matter if it's gonna be a union with a twin flame or a soulmate or whatever that might be in terms of labels, and whatever kind of union we are actively knowing that it is meant to be for us. You come into a space of surrendering that trust and faith that come to be in a huge way within you, and you know what's meant to be will be happening either way. And you have surrendered the control, you have surrendered in your highest good of everything in your life, and you are creating and co-creating from a space of inner peace, of inner tranquility, in a way that creates space for wisdom, for knowledge, for peace, for anything you may desire as a soul to actually experience in this lifetime. And most of the times it is exactly like that. And that is also a step that brings you closer to the union within. So surrender to that if it has come to that point. Surrender to that feeling of peace and harmony within yourself. The Zen state, as I sometimes call it, because this is your creator space, the space where you are co-creating with the universe and the cosmos and the earth and everyone else around you, and we are coming into union within self without resistance, without pull and push of any directions. If that is something you have experienced, please let me know in the comments. Sometimes this feeling comes and goes. Sometimes it comes and stays a bit longer than usually. I think this is part of the process of the enlightenment, and it is important for us to know how that feels like and how it is like for us, and how to ground that as a feeling, as a way of being, as a lifestyle in our everyday interactions and tasks with self and others. This is the point. It's not about just you being in a meditative state. Yes, I finally surrendered. No. Surrendering in a meditation, in a meditative state is absolutely easy and normal, because it is just us and higher self and spirit guides, and it's very easy. But how can we do that? How we can apply that in our everyday lives? This is what matters. Even with the smallest of things, why does this bottle doesn't get in that cupboard for and we get kind of yeah, silly me, I'm trying to fit in something that doesn't fit there. So let me know of your experiences, if this transmission resonates, if you get the frequency of the union of spirit and soul through what is coming through, because I'm spaced out in a huge way while recording this, and I know I'm channeling a lot of beautiful energies and guides that are there ready to help us in this path of self-exploration. And I will see you in the next transmissions. I hope it resonated. I hope it clarified a couple of stuff. It feels enormous as a key concept. And when something feels like that, it's just the tip of the iceberg. Usually there's more learning and more expansion, but I do hope it helps you get started on working with yourself in a different way, from a different perspective, more kind, more loving, more supportive. Everything you would like to have received from your twin flame or the people around you and you haven't. As always, be true to yourself and be your true self. Pop any questions below. I'm here to support you as much as I can.